Hello and welcome to the Average Tabletop Gamers. On this episode we are looking at Warlord Games Test of Honour. Unboxing, reviewing and how to play. All in one. Hello and welcome to the Average Tabletop Gamers. I'm Ben.
I'm Sven.
And I'm Ian.
And we are here on this episode to talk Test of Honour, or Samurais Fighting.
Yeah, so Test of Honour is labelled as the Samurai Miniatures game.
Mm-hmm. A very nice compact little box as well. It gets you started.
And it is from Warlord Games, so yet again they've got more of my money. But it is from Warlord Games, and it is one of their really good historical kind of skirmishy games. And we've got a lovely, completely sealed box of it here, so I'm going to just open into it now.
Again, you see they don't trust me with the knife.
It would have been cooler had we actually had a katana or something like that and just done it from a distance. Or, you know, had a shuriken fly in from off screen.
I mean, you say cooler, it could have been us filming one of us being maimed, is what it could actually have been.
You say maimed, I was going for murdered.
Okay, so...
Should we put the knife away now?
Yeah, well, we might still need it for opening.
Let me
card
take them there,
packs.
we put that away.
So, Test of Honour, it's a skirmish game, miniature game, and this is the core box.
I mean, first things first on the box, I actually really like the artwork they've gone with for Test of Honour. I mean, they've gone with it on a lot of their expansion boxes as well. It's just quite a simple black ink line art, and it's just beautiful, really nice.
Yeah, it's a very traditional Oriental style of artwork.
And all of the boxes for all of the add-ons are all the same, even to the point of the Warlord Games logo, which is normally that
golden
yellow mix gradient, is done in a black and white fill, which again just adds to the theming of the box. So let's break the vacuum. There we go. So I'll pop that on one side.
Straight away presented with tokens and bits of scenery.
Yeah, so as I said, this is the core box. So we get our card stock, which I've already started popping out accidentally. So we've got our main tokens. So it looks like we've got the peasant tokens, the samurai tokens, the fate tokens.
Yep.
The blood drops, and we never used those ones when we played this, so I'm not sure what those ones are. We got some objective markers, and we get some starter scenery. So you get some little stone walls and some little hedges. Let's just go there.
So there's some of the scenery. You can see just to get you started before you build up your own or buy some own 3D scenery, and the various tokens. Plenty of them there. And
we'll come on to tokens and what they are as we get on. So then the second bit of cards that again we've got is some more starter scenery. So again, this is just kind of... oh, that's quite nice. I didn't realise that.
No, they're two-sided.
So it's two-sided. So you've got, on one side, we have got buildings. We've got 3 buildings. And again...
And a bit on the floor.
2 hedges. So we've got a couple of hedges and we've got 2 buildings, and you flip over the buildings and you get the destroyed version of the buildings. So again, do you want to just quickly wave those underneath that little...
So there's one of the buildings that I was trying to pop out, and now when I try and flip it over, it's going to all fall apart.
At that angle, at those angles, it actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, so they've been given kind of a depth of perspective in the way they've been drawn. And again, so there are loads of companies producing themed scenery for this.
Yeah.
Or you could build your own. So I know TT Combat do a range. Sarissa
obviously do it, with their partnership with Warlord. They do a huge amount.
Is it Sarissa who do Warlord? Because do Warlord offer some on their own site?
They're all Sarissa ones, yeah.
So I know that a few of the other average tabletop gamers, Lee and Gary and all them, have got some scenery.
Yep.
Lee's got some little bridges, Gary's got some buildings and some little shrines and things like that.
Yeah.
And again, the laser cut MDF, as we've seen before, is great. It's great
and
value for
really,
money.
and it really works for this.
Yeah,
for the style that this game has to it. That aesthetic really works with the MDF buildings.
So, and the next thing again, this astounded me the first time I saw the contents of this box, was just the sheer amount of actual minis that you get in here. So, I'll just get our little collectible packing slip
Who's
from
this one by?
Mirella S.
Thanks, Marilla. Good job.
So, we get quite a few frames of our various different troops here. So, I forget what you actually get in the box, and if I flip
Do you want to have a look?
well, if I flip it over, I know that it'll
Yeah, if you have a look in the...
it'll tell us in the guide somewhere.
Yeah.
Now, these are build your own. So you need glue. You need.
Yeah, you need the
all
glue,
the
you need the
clips.
thing, but what you also get, which is really, really nice and very, very handy, is, if you can see that there, if I
I'll
pop
pop
them
it
under,
underneath, actually.
is excellent instruction manuals for how to build all the different troop types.
And it tells you what goes with what and the various different
And the
weapon
various different options and the like. So what you've got, if I remember rightly, is 7 sprues worth of figures.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like 7. Yes. Enough to do 2 war bands, isn't it?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
again, I didn't get a chance to look at the box surreptitiously, so I'll just do this now and
But
try to tip everything all over the table.
and having had already played this and had a look at, as I love with these games, having a look at the different cards and the different ways you can build these things. You've got all your usual combinations. You've got your samurais with the katanas. You can have spearmen. You can have naginata men. You can have riflemen or pikemen.
Pikemen,
musketmen, not
bowmen.
riflemen, bowmen. And you've got all the options there for building them. Different helmet options, different hat options. Something I know, and this is real plastic geekery. Something you pointed out that I hadn't noticed. I think you really like is. You may have noticed that as I've been holding that is an almost perfect stack of sprues.
Yeah.
Because of the way they've put it together.
Yeah,
And I don't know why more companies don't do it.
The little stack and cups there. Now these sprues are the Perry Miniatures sprues. So if you buy any of the Perry Miniatures samurai kits, these are the sprues that you'll be getting in those. And it's something that Perry do, and it's something I really like. Is the little stack and cup system that they have. One of the worst things one of the things I certainly don't like is when I open a box from another manufacturer and all the sprues are kind of ground together and all the bits are kind of touching and they're kind of integrating with themselves and it's all a bit messy, whereas this is clean. You don't get any crossover on them, you don't get any rubbing, so you don't get any damage. I just think it's a really, really smart bit of design that doesn't cost any extra to do. And certainly from that perspective is one of the things that I really appreciate, because I like that little element of tidiness.
So it looks like there's 35 models in the box, and they are, so there's one of the frames, or a few of the frames you get are the Ashigaru missile troops.
Yeah.
And you get the
Ashigaru
Yari troops, and we also
so I think
get
there's 6 sprues of Ashigaru.
Yep.
And then 1 sprue with 5 samurai.
Yeah, so this one, that's obviously the samurai sprue, although it is just labelled up as sprue 0901. But yeah, that's got these samurai pieces on.
Yeah, that is the samurai one.
Yeah, because you've got the different hats and you've got the various different bladed weapons and some lovely little touches as well. So you've got the various different helmet adornments, so you can have antlers or you can have the traditional kind of like leaves, like the wreaths. You've got the fan. Again, some amazing detail on these actual models.
There's also a simplicity to them as well, so they don't look, from my not even an amateur's eye, they don't look that complex to paint.
You've got the instructions there for how they go together, and with kind of the nature of that oriental aesthetic. especially with foot soldiers and things like this. Foot soldiers were basically wore what they had. You know, there was no such thing as uniforms and the like back then. Samurai would have all the flash kit, but the Ashigaru, the peasant troops, would pretty much just wear whatever was available. So from a painting perspective, as much as you've got the fun and the joy of making the samurai look all spanky and fabulous, your Ashigaru can pretty much wear whatever you want them to.
So alongside the miniatures, you've obviously got your standard Warlord size bases, which is a 20mm round base, I think.
25s.
Or the 25mm round bases.
But the nice thing that comes with this is the bigger bases as well. So you can build in. You can buy individual models, and like a lot of these games that they're doing, you buy the cards, and that's the units you're buying. But you can buy a unit, and I think a unit would be so you buy 3 archers or 3 spearmen. Yep. And they actually have a.
You need to unwrap it first.
I see. I can't work plastic bags today. It seems. Thanks. Maybe you need your knife again to help. But
working with amateurs.
You've got a nice 3-way base there. So if you can just pop that, so you can sit your 3 miniatures in there. As one dies, you just remove them. It's a nice way just to move your units together. I thought that's quite smart. I really like it.
And one of the nice little things with those as well is with your, especially doing your scenic bases, on the minis, you can also, you can make those into little features in themselves. So you can have the little unit base, maybe a little diorama of it to a degree.
So the next couple of things we get in the box, we've got 2 guides. We've got the main rules, which isn't too in depth. It's kind of 16 pages, including the chart on the back that gives you the various bonuses, weapon bonuses, and the types of actions you've got.
And a quick play in there as well.
So there is the quick play at the start, I believe.
No, the quick
play. The quick play is the battle guide.
Yeah.
So we've got the rule book, the main rules, and we've got the battle guide, and the battle guide is the one that gives you battle 1, first clash, so that's kind of your quick start, and again it just sets out what forces you should have, and again it's the forces you get in the box. It goes through recruiting your force, and then you get another couple of battles, so you get I think 6 in total.
Yeah, so I think they're designed as a campaign style is how the game is supposed to work. And as part of that, there is advancement for troops, kind of an experience system where they develop and become better as the game goes on. And having this campaign idea to how the game is supposed to work really ties in with that. So the battles are themed.
Yeah.
They're themed to work together and create a little story in themselves.
And we've got on the back of there as well as a little painting guide that shows you how you can paint your Ashigaru. Some ideas. Obviously, the good thing there is, again, if you're into your historical accuracy, you could go and look at some of the historical clans and get the clan colours and the markings of the flags that all the warriors. Yeah, the
Mons.
I was trying to remember what it was called.
It's called a Mons.
Yeah, there you go, the Mons.
What's it? A Mons?
Mons. Yeah. The Mons, yes.
So you can basically do all that accuracy if you wish, or say you could follow the colour schemes that they've got on the boxes.
Yeah, and one of the things that Warlords do, and you can find on their site, and that other trusted partners for Test of Honour provide are decal sheets.
Yeah.
So you can go and easily find a decal sheet. The minis all come with the little, you can have the little back flags and whose name I can't remember, and banners and things like this. So you can, pretty them up with designs and the like there. So there's plenty of options and kind of differences that you can.
And I think I think what we liked as well, and it caught us out in that first game. We genuinely thought I don't because we played the introduction game several times actually.
Several times to kind of really get our teeth into
because I think it was maybe 15 minutes before we went, oh, I've killed your samurai, what happens now? It went, oh, you've won.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we were massively caught out with how simple, how fast and how brutal it is.
Yeah.
It was a real shock, especially, you know, a lot of the war games and skirmish games that we play and that are around at the moment, they have a longevity of character, and they have, you know, the more important the character, the more difficult to kill.
And because of that, they take away a lot of subtleness, which I think what we found is there's quite a lot of subtle, the way you work your actions, the way you...
The tactics involved, etc., yeah.
Which, because we just charged in, was like, the first 4 or 5 games we played were, you know, we...
Tactically terrible.
And we got through that many games in a small, like in a couple of hours. But I think reading into it, it's almost meant to be that you want a quick skirmish game over your lunch break. You can break out Test of Honor and you can get a couple of games.
It's not meant to be your bolt action thing where you're going to be putting down, you know, several vehicles and 5 or 6 units. It is designed to be a true skirmish game.
Yes.
To give you the kind of the play time, but it doesn't sit on the outside there.
But yeah, so like again with the box, you do get the big stack of cards which are unwrapped there, and so in this deck here we've got the kind of hero cards.
Yeah, all the troop cards and the character cards. There you get injury cards.
And these, I mean, we won't go into too much detail, but these are basically your stats at the bottom, so the kind of dice you're rolling.
So, I mean, very plainly, like a lot of war games and skirmish games, each figure has a cost. You play to a matched points total that you agree with your the person you're playing against, and then you buy troops up to that level. Each troop, depending on their cost, has a different level of ability and skill. It has a really interesting initiative system. So every troop on the board has a token that represents it, and all of the tokens go into a little bag or a hat or some other form of receptacle.
The bolt action order mechanic.
Yeah, what I really liked about that was, so into the bag, as I say, you put tokens to represent each of your peasant class, your Ashigaru, each of your samurais.
Yes.
Or everything that's on the table, and you put the 3 fate tokens.
Yeah, no, the fate tokens I think is one of my favourite mechanics I've seen in a game for a long time. Because
you take it in turn to draw from the bag, you don't know which unit you're going to be drawing next. Yeah. So you may draw an Ashigaru when actually what you really want to be doing is, you know, charging your samurai in. And
as we found on several occasions.
Or the reverse of, I want to hold my samurai back so he's ready to pounce at the last minute, and you draw his 3 actions, one after the other.
But I mean, that initiative system, again, in the same way that the bolt action initiative system really works well with the drawing the dice, and meaning you don't get the you go, I go stale of other war games. With this, it does represent the quick skirmish, and the fact that you could draw the 3 fate tokens out really before you've had a chance to execute your plans, and then everything goes back in the bag.
So just kind of explain that mechanic ever so slightly. The game is broken up into a series of rounds, and each round is as long as it takes to draw the 3 fate tokens out of the bag. You might have an instance where you pull 2 as the first 2 things out, you know, the first 2 actions out of the bag come out as fate tokens, and then you don't pull the third one till the last thing out of the bag, and that ends the turn. Or you might have a situation where one person gets to activate their Ashigaru and their samurai, and then the third fate token comes out and your opponent hasn't had any actions at all.
Yeah. And
that is fate, isn't it? You know, that's kind of really buying into that Oriental mindset and mythology of fate and how fate affects.
Yeah, and I think that was, and we saw because we played so many, because it was so quick, we got to see how that really influenced the games that we were playing. Because, I mean, not going into it too, but like your character models, so your samurai have 3 action tokens on them.
Yeah.
your Ashigaros, your peasants, can only have one. So you draw an Ashigara token out, you put it on your peasant, go, they are doing this action.
Yeah.
They can no longer act in that turn. You can do that 3 times with your samurai, which if you go, I'm having a go, that's a samurai token, I'm having a go, it's another samurai token, you just spank all your samurai actions in one go. And as we saw, I think, when Gary was playing, he then went on to draw all his opponent's samurai tokens as well.
Yeah.
So their samurai did nothing. None of his Ashigaru acted, and then 3 fate tokens come out, and they all went back in the bag,
Yeah.
and you sort of go back to it. I really, really enjoyed it. It was a quick fire, very tactical game.
Yeah, I think of all the games that we've played, I'd say over the last 12, 18 months, this is easily the most tactical.
But also,
in terms of war game, battle game, strategy game.
but also kind of very reflective of the nature of the game in
Yeah.
terms of. So I think obviously with
Fluff wise, it's lovely.
yeah, with like say with bigger games that we've played, so your more traditional war game, you know, the tactics are very much you are planning ahead. You know,
Yeah.
a couple of turns, you might be thinking, okay, they're going to be moving over here, so I want to move this artillery piece round in position to cover that line of fire, etc. Whereas with this, it's very much I'm thinking in the now,
Yes.
and I'm going to be trying to anticipate what might come out the bag next, who's still got to act, and where I want to put my bow, and where I want to put my spearman. What I want? Do I want to charge my samurai over the wall and into the spearman because he's going to get shot up next turn anyway.
And because we found you can do reaction moves, so if you haven't taken an action, you can react to what your opponent does by going, well, I'm just going to draw an action out of the bag and do that as a reaction. It's when we say it's actually rather than deep tactics of here's so many different mechanics you have to consider. It's actually a very simple game, but it's how you play the simple mechanics that you have.
Yeah. The mechanics don't allow you to fluff a lack of tactical know-how.
No.
You know, you've really got to be on the ball with kind of how you want to play the game, and that might sound scary to people out there, but it really isn't. It's more of a reactionary game, depending on how the tokens come out of the bag.
And rather than maybe, you know, as we discovered in the later games, rather than charging across the board because, well, I get a good long move that way. That feels like a really good positive thing I've done. You take the stealthy move, which doesn't get you quite as much movement, but lets you make a free reaction if someone shoots you in the face.
Yeah,
because a simple peasant archer can still shoot a samurai in the face,
Yeah.
as I found,
and kill him.
And so I guess the last thing in the box, and since we're discussing actions and shooting and combat and all that kind of stuff, is the dice. So they're not your traditional D6, number D6. They are emblem or icon dice. However, they are very representative. So if we just go to the close-up.
So yeah, I mean, you've got several different symbols, and it's a really simple mechanic. I mean, without going into the details, it's like get this many slashes, and you have succeeded. Simple as that. Whatever action you're doing, it's I have succeeded. So I have shot you, I have hit you.
Yes.
I have tried to dodge that shot. I have succeeded in dodging that shot. The nice thing was, if you get a set number, they've then got, you know,
Bonuses.
flashy stuff happens. So
Yeah.
critical hits basically, and they're dependent on the weapon you've got
And the action that you're doing at the
yeah,
time.
they've actually broken it
it's
down.
really,
So if it's a defensive action, if it's a reaction.
Again, it's a beautiful bit of fluff.
Yeah.
It really buys into the theme of the game. It makes it really thematic with kind of how the game advances and some of the little bits and bonuses and fumbles that happen.
And as you say, you have the same mechanic. If you roll more more negatives than you do successes, you fumble.
Yeah, so you get the fumbles, and the fumbles again can have consequences. So yeah, your weapon bonuses, there is, I say, the chart on the back of the main rulebook, and it does give you, as you say, it could have just given you, this is a general, if you get a bonus, but it does give you for each weapon. So if you're using the Naginata and you get the bonus. You get the quick jab if you're doing a strike. If you're doing an avoid, you get a counter strike. But you also, with a heavy sword, you get things like deep cut plus fearsome blow. Which again, all the rules for that is outlined in the book, and it just again adds to that. Nasty. It adds to that thrust and parry and the actual back and forth. It's not just it doesn't represent the I'm going to run up and hit you with a sword and you're going to stand there and do nothing, and when it's your turn you're going to hit me back. When you initiate the combat, you're rolling off so that they can actually be hitting you, or if you're trying to fire your bow at someone and you fumble horribly, you're going to damage yourself because you're going to wrap the bowstring around your neck or lose a finger or whatever.
There's as we've been hammering on a bit about, but I think because we liked it so much, is there's just a bit more thought to it than I'm going to run my strength up against your toughness and your power armor, or your other kind of armor.
Or other stats are available.
Yeah, and so I just saw there the other token that we didn't mention is the cautious move token, which we weren't using when we played because we were only using a handful of minis each.
Cautious move.
But yeah, so that's when you're doing the cautious move. Is
cautious move? That's what I came up.
Ian talked about before.
After getting shot in the face, I had to come up with something.
But as I said, the game itself it was so quick to set up and play.
Yeah.
I mean, we used a handful of the card bits of scenery and some little bits of MDF stuff that we picked up, or that Gary had picked up, to go with his set. You
play on a small, it was a 2x2 board, I think they were saying you played on?
2x2, 3x3, it's definitely a small board.
It was essentially, half this table was a good size for the board. And it was the thing, after getting over the initial shock, it was I won as well. It was brilliant. This is a 15-minute game. Well, let's play again. Okay, now there was 4 or 5 of us here that night, so it's like, okay, you two can play, and now and you never had much downtime, and you could actually see us understanding the game more.
Yeah, and you could watch
building more of the tactics.
Yeah, and watching how other people play and seeing the mistakes that they made that you then repeated. Yeah. When you played next. Because we're idiots and don't know.
But I think again because of it says in the battle guide about how there are many ways to play this game, and you can expand the game with playing campaign rules. You can play tournaments, but it is designed to be quick linked games. Really, as you say, the battle guide gives you those 6 scenarios, the 6 games you can play through, and then I believe each of the box sets you can buy. Give you extra scenarios that are going to utilise those. So, and Warlord have got a whole range of various box sets available. So
ninjas have come out.
You've got the ninjas, the bandits and brigands. You've got the mounted samurais. You've got the honor of geisha.
And
unless it was a spoof, are they bringing out the 7 samurai as a set?
So that was something that I was going to kind of touch on a little later with Warlord Games and Test of Honor at the moment. It's kind of Warlord is still going to be retailing it, and it's still going to be sold, but it's kind of going back into the hands of the people that developed it. Really? So Andy Hobday and Footsore Miniatures under their War Banner title. So it's going through a bit of a rebrand, and it's going through some new and interesting things coming out. And kind of the first thing that's going to hit the shelves as part of the rebrand is the 7 Samurai. Yeah. Which they are teasering this week on Facebook and other social media channels.
Yeah, and the models are so nice, and again with it being, because this isn't anyone's intellectual property as such, it isn't like your Games Workshop things where it's hard for other companies to produce things that will work in the range, because let's face it, it's Games Workshop's intellectual property and they own all of that. Because this is just 28mm game set in feudal Japan, it means companies like Footsore and Perry Miniatures and all these other different miniature manufacturers can bring out their own ranges that are going to assist the game. So if you want a particular samurai that looks a particular way, and there's a company that makes it, and as long as it's the right scale, fill your boots. It's not like it has to be a particular type of weapon and a particular type of armour, or a particular type of era.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that as part of the rebrand, they are kind of looking slightly at a tweak on the rules and things like this as well, just to kind of make things a little bit clearer, especially in terms of arms and armament, because obviously a lot of miniatures out there do have, you know, anything from a Naginata to a Katana to a Yuri, etc. So they are kind of looking at that side of things as well. But even in its current state, out of the box, the weapon rules that exist, the models that you get, you know, they fulfil everything that you need.
Yeah,
you know, they look right, and there's a card for them.
And I mean, we've got a few Gary's models here. So
So
Gary isn't with us, but his models are. So he is with us in spirit. So these are some of his models from the box, which he has assembled and painted, and these are the ones that we were playing with when we did our test of the game, the test of honor, if you will. So I'll just see if we can get some of those displayed in the close-up. So I believe that is one of the musket men that you have there, and we've got one of the banner bearers.
And he's also,
And there's one of the bowmen.
and there's also the triple bases as well, that he did, just to kind of show and kind of build in that slightly diorama effect of actually when you do mount them, just to give you that little bit of kind of extra scenery.
Yeah, so that's what they look like when they're on the triple base, which again was just a phenomenal idea from Warlord when they had that concept. Because I think, you know, there's lots of it's not a new concept, the movement tray for moving regiments and things. But I think the way that they've done a movement tray for a skirmish game, where normally everything would be independent, but the fact you can have your 3 spearmen, your 3 bowmen running around as an actual unit is a really nice addition. And I say those miniatures, they look nice on them in sprue. When they're actually there and painted up, they look lovely. And this is going to be forcing its way to the front of the paint queue for me.
It's certainly next on my list of things after I've painted all of the things that I've got on the table at the moment.
And I certainly look forward to enjoying the miniatures that you paint. I mean, that'd be great.
And so again, as we're talking about extra miniatures, so there's one of Gary's Samurai, which is it's a white metal model. I forget who that one's actually, which range that is from.
So that is from the Bushido game. Again, another samurai miniatures game, but it's same scale. And again, it's another nice miniature.
Well, I think what we'll do is with the miniatures, so you get a good look at them, we'll get some decent photographs taken, and we'll put them on the Instagram page, which you'll be able to see the link below, and we'll show it again a little bit later on. So
maybe
we'll take some nice photographs.
Maybe a little video on the spinny roundy box.
Spinning roundy box.
I'll see if I can sort it out for the end of the video. At the end of this video.
So Test of Honor in itself it's a great game. There's a lot to it. It's fun. It's quick. It's tactical, and it looks great.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's very expandable. So just the core concept you get in the box, and you've got a lot of playability, and then you start.
You get an awful lot of goodies as well.
And we haven't even said how much this is. This box retails £40.
£40.
So from Warlord direct, or your friendly local gaming store that stocks.
And ultimately, it's not a massive box. Everything you need to play and to keep playing is in this box. I mean, you could £40. That's you got, as we always say, that's hours of play straight in the box. And if you didn't want to expand beyond this,
but yeah, there's no need.
There's no need to.
Absolutely no need to worry about kind of the meta side of the game. You will be competitive no matter who you play with what you've got in the box.
Yeah. And even when you consider, so if you consider this core box against other core boxes, even other core boxes in Warlord's range, I think value for money wise, it's probably one of the best. I mean, if you think one of the bolt action starter boxes are going to set you back 70 to 90 quid, I think Or fine, you do get their chunky rulebook, but actually miniatures wise, and the amount of actual card stock that you get.
Oh yeah, value for money. I don't think that this really can be beaten.
No.
I certainly haven't seen anything that's kind of taken my breath away as much as this did in sheer, opening the box and going, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and it came out of, for me, it came out, I mean, I'd been aware of it, but it had never been a game we talked about until you kind of bought it not that long ago, actually, because it was there a sale or something? Was it?
Yeah, we picked it up on one of the recent sales, but actually, so Lee bought this a year and a bit ago at Border Reavers in 2017.
He did.
We never.
Lee and he painted up the models and he bought some scenery to go with it. And it's just one of those games where we've never got around to actually playing it because we've had so many other things kind of jumping in. And it's always a game that I wanted to get into. I always wanted to get into playing this game because for years I've loved this kind of.
Yeah. I just love samurai.
Yeah, there's something about the samurai. I've loved any kind of game that's come out involving samurai, whether it be this kind of game or it be role plays like Legend of the Five Rings, that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
And I say just this kind of thing really floats my boat, and so it's going to be a joy to paint these. But again, I'll go and nerd out on the internet at some point for a few hours and find the exact clan that I want to paint, and try and find the colour schemes.
I mean, it's funny you mentioned Legend of the Five Rings there. The first thing that kind of strikes me is I'll probably end up painting mine in a Legend, in an L5R style. Find one of the families, one of the clans, and paint them to kind of match that. I've always had a real thing for Scorpion Clan.
No, for me, as it always is, it was lovely miniatures, stroke tokens that allowed me to use the rules. That allowed me to use the rules around them. It was just
some really pretty tokens.
Yeah, it was just a really. What grasped me was the simplicity of the rules, the simplicity of the game, but the complexity of the thinking and the application and the application of those rules. And I mean, it is a tournamenting game from what I understand, and there is a tournament meta.
Which we'll no doubt see when you start playing.
In fact, the rules are so simple he can't suck the fun out of them.
Challenge accepted.
I think on top of that, what we'll do is we will, once we get all this stuff built and painted up and some scenery and things, I think we'll set this up and we'll probably do a playthrough of this so you actually see the game.
This actually lend itself to it, wouldn't it?
So we'll do that for a future episode of the Average Tabletop Gamers.
Yeah. Maybe recreate famous film scenes from or not.
From famous films,
From famous films.
Famous films.
I was wondering what I was going with that.
Try not to do the dialogue while we're filming so we don't get shut down.
I mean, I'm okay because, I don't do things like that.
I mean, if it means that I can set up some kind of black and white filter on the camera and film it in a Akira Kurosawa style,
well,
that's
once we've got the Seven Samurai, it wouldn't be right if we didn't do a Seven Samurai game day.
But yeah, I think Test of Honor is definitely going to be a game which will feature in our games rotation.
I'm really excited about the possibilities in it, and I know it's taken us a while to kind of get round to jumping in it. But yeah, I'm really excited about getting getting the minis out, getting them painted, getting some scenery, maybe building a board, getting some decent gameplay. And I'm really excited by some of the possibilities and some of the rumours that are coming out in the rebrand. Things like the rumour of Oriental supernatural elements coming into it, so hopping vampires and paper zombies and things like this. All of this is stuff that I really, I love. I love that whole kind of Oriental aesthetic. And seeing how well this plays and seeing how enjoyable it is and how easy it is, I'm really excited for Test of Courage as well when that comes out.
Sparta.
That's the Greek Sparta game that comes out again, written by Andy Hobday and the guys there. If the mechanics are similar, if the value for money is similar, I can't see it being a loser at all.
I've had a look at some of the, and it's very early. I think it's even like master mold kind of. here's the miniatures we're thinking of, and they look beautiful. As in, they look great. They're really exciting to see.
So, really exciting stuff coming out of from Andy Hobday and the guys there at Futsal or War Banner, however they're calling themselves. Again, we'll link and everything down there for you to have a look at. And War Banner actually have a really nice range of minis for Test of Honor as well. A lot of single samurai and alternative Ashigaru troops.
Yeah.
And they're not expensive. You're looking at £4 for a single white metal mini for one of their samurai. And they're really pretty, and they look great, and again they'll just add that little bit of difference to your mate's forces.
And the thing I like, on top of that, we've alluded to it several times in this, it's a good little game for we've actually finished the big game we were playing tonight. We finished 40 minutes early. What are we going to do? Should we just pack up and go, or we'll squeeze 3 minutes. We'll squeeze 3 games of Test of Honor into that time, or 2 games.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you've just spent all afternoon playing 2,000 points of Space Monkeys versus Dinobots, and you've got some.
Well, we to avoid anybody saying.
I work in marketing, and then bang this out. Your scenery set up, whip out your samurai, as it were.
Yeah, because again, in terms of the scenery that you're going to need to buy to actually give yourself a 3D battlefield, really, it's not that much, and a lot of it will be transferable because like hedges and stone walls are going to, if you've got those already in your collection, and 3-4 buildings, which will set you back at most 40 quid to buy high quality. Or, we know some guys that have built some really nice kind of wood frame with a paper sash door frame kind of windows. I don't know what they're called. The proper old school build, like the ones that are depicted here in the cardstock. But they've built them themselves, scratch build. But yeah, 40 quid will buy you some really nice scenery to go along with this, and it's not gonna break the bank. It's not like trying to buy the scenery you need to recreate, a whole section of a Normandy town.
Somme.
Or to buy yourself a huge, great big industrial hive setting for your grim dark universe games. It's good as well. It's kind of like a few MDF buildings is all you need.
Yeah. So, Test of Honor. For me, it's double thumbs up.
Yeah,
it is absolutely superb. It's one of the best games I think we've ever reviewed on here. Looked at. It's certainly one of the best games I've played.
Yeah.
It looks great. It plays really, really well, and it keeps you thinking on your feet.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I because the games we've played so far have been very small war bands. I'm intrigued to see how it plays as you get a few more points in there.
Yeah, certainly. The kind of expansion and campaign style.
Yeah. Well, even just the fact we played the quick play, which gives you the recommended starting forces. So we had 5 Ashigaru and a samurai.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah. And none of the extra bonus cards, and none of the equipment cards.
We weren't using equipment. We weren't using the honour or the dishonour cards. So there's all that to add in. So again, as I say, we'll set all this up and we'll try and get a playthrough, and we'll actually show you us playing a game, and you'll see the raging argument that we will have at some point.
Yeah, it's all it is.
And we'll have to have
2 hours of shouting at him.
We'll have a camera just to see where the dice
trying to apply the rules.
Yeah. So thank you very much for joining us. That has been Test of Honor by Warlord Games / War Banner. We're the Average Tabletop Gamers. If you, let's say, like what we do, tell everybody you know. You can hit us up here on our social media channels. All the links down below. We'll link Warlord, we'll link War Banner, we'll link our affiliated FLGS.
We'll put some pictures of, say, some of the painted stuff that Gary's got here. We'll put some of that on our Instagram and our Facebook so you can see that. But yeah, go check it out, and remember to like, share and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and hit that notify bell just so you know when we post a video.
So yeah, that's us checking out and heading off to the Far East.
Yeah, so thank you for staying with us here at the Average Tabletop Gamers. See you later.
See you next time.